Kia ora, namaste, and a very warm welcome to all our viewers tuning in from around New Zealand and beyond. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship, proudly hosted this year by the Waikato Indian Sports Club in conjunction with New Zealand Indian Sports Association, bringing together community, competition and culture. Whether you're new to the NZIHC or have been around since the good old QBT days, you're in for another treat this year. I'm joined in commentary by Hitendra Patel, lead coach for NZISA. Hitu, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, Brad, and what a lovely day it is down in Hamilton. So if you're around the area, let's get on board and support some of the great games that we're going to see today. Yeah,
absolutely. I mentioned in the last women's game, actually such a good place to host the tournament because most of the Indian hockey clubs should be able to get here relatively easily between Waikato, Bop, Auckland, Pukekohe, Harbour. You're all close enough to get down here for the day, whether it's this afternoon or finals day tomorrow, but a great day here in Hamilton. And we also welcome back our men's A section for the day. First round of games here between Pukekohe and North Harbour. A little cross-town rivalry between those north and south of the Big Smoke. And a battle out here again today. We see the two teams there going through their final preparations. Of course, North Harbour there in the navy blue and white. Pukekohe in their traditional green and yellow. And just a couple of players to look out for as we see the teams line up there. North Harbour, of course, Shahil Lala, Keenan Bicker, who was good last night. We saw the Harbour team play. And there's some players with experience in there, Hasmit, for this Harbour team who will really get them going and going forward. On the other side of things, there's no shortage of names in that Pukekohe team. And those that you'd be pretty familiar with at the NZI level as well. Hitu. Brett Menez is out there. Neetish Suka, pretty hard to go past. Jared Panchi is out there for the green and yellows again this year, but it was some late fourth quarter heroics to Milan Patel, who got them up over CD in a game yesterday. One of the PHL players out here for Pukekohe. Pretty exciting for you to see this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. As teams walk out now, there's probably a lot of names we haven't mentioned in both teams. I think both teams have a lot of great talent coming through, even in the juniors that are there today. And we talk about the players, but also the coaching staff, right? Like how good James Coughlin on the Pukekohe side and Ty Mana on the North Harbour side.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a common theme that's come up around the tournament this weekend. How good is it to see, players that can't play in the tournament, non-qualified to play, but involved in their Indian sports clubs, and Jimmy Coughlin, of course, former Blackstick, and Timon Iverson, who's represented right at the top level for New Zealand Māori, as well as his brother. I think Hedwin is in there coaching as well. So, really cool that those guys are involved and doesn't stop there. We could rattle off coaches right through the men's A section that are involved. So, you're right, a game here that's going to show it all, players, coaches, and of course our umpires in the middle, Hamish McNally and Stephen McLaughlin. They'll take charge of this one. And just looking at some former results, Pukekohe are 2 from 2 at the moment and have pretty much wrapped up a spot in tomorrow's final, barring some maths I haven't bothered to work out. While North Harbour, I think they could, if they can steal one here, they could possibly make a bronze medal match if they finish second in their pool in this men's Pool B. So still lots to play for here. It's a straight up final. You win your pool, you go to the final. And speaking of implications, out over on Turf 2, the warm-up has started at the moment. Bop v Wellington, which is pretty much a straight up winner takes it and winner goes to the final tomorrow. So, we'll probably be keeping half an eye over on the fast scoreboard to try and update you all through this one as well. But men's A turning it on this year at the NZIHC. And again, like I said, Hitu, for you as the lead coach at NZI, you'd be pretty happy to see the quality of hockey across all three divisions.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the results don't really showcase the great talent that's out there, but 8-team tournament for the A section, and every game counts, and that format, you got to like it. As hard as it is, you got to like it. As the North Harbour set off with the setback.
Yeah, you get mixed reactions around the traps, about you got to come top of your pool, but in a short format tournament like that, the reality is if you want to be the best, you've got to win your games. And that's as simple as it is. You start dropping games or even head to shootouts. You shoot yourself in the foot as we see open opportunity here for Harbour. Sitting in front of goal. 2 saves there from Bavi. And love the start there from Harbour. Real intent to have a crack.
Yeah, I think, you know, their games this weekend so far probably haven't shown what they're really capable of doing. And I think just then, in that first 30 seconds of the game almost, you know, that's pretty much what this Harbour side can do.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them in a tight one last night on the live stream, and then I think they lost their first game to Central Districts. So, like I say, there's certainly a ton of talent out here in this Harbour team. Just perhaps haven't put it all together in terms of results yet, but now we see them forced to do a bit of defending here. I mentioned Pukekohe in good form, 2 from 2. And away come Harbour with a quick go ahead if they can roll it here. There's numbers.
Oh,
lovely. Oh, what a ball. Man, they're going to have to be switched on there. Pukekohe, the counter cover, looking like it's a real opportunity here for North Harbour early.
Yeah, I think it's great identification from North Harbour here. They've, as soon as, you know, Pukekohe are attacking, they're getting some high numbers up for that counter-attack North Harbour are, and almost paid dividends in that last play.
Yeah, as we see the 2 at the back, just knocked the ball around there. It's Nita Suka and Nohan Hensman. Now going forward is Hensman. Nice little cut out there from Harbour. Hensman there just looking at his options, falls off the ball and will allow Jared Panchia onto it. Of course, needs no introduction, Jared Panchia, as we see some of his expertise around the edge of the circle there, linking up. Akshay Uka.
Penalty corner.
Yeah, first one of the game, and the Masked Man. S-Man's been trying to get a nickname to stick, and I'm not even going to go there, but the Masked Man walks his way up. You'll see him into the screen there. Nitish Suka, who's sporting the protective face mask. Oh, jeez. Lucky the whistle went quickly there because someone was losing ankles.
Or fingers.
Yeah. So how's this for a bracket at the top? Nitish Suka on 1 and Jared Panchia on 2. I don't know if I'm too convinced about Pup there on the second bracket. But Nitish, a noted flicker. We've seen his exploits through tournaments previous. Jared, I think if it does go to his way, he's probably just going to dribble through all 4 of them.
Not a bad option.
No. Little messy.
Oh.
And a little one carved off the line. They're going to say body, maybe stick then body. Nitish was asking for a stroke.
A good angle. Yeah.
Yeah, got a bit of stick on it. Enough stick for me. Another corner. Nitish did well to pick it up well behind him. There was an ugly trap.
That was almost a goal. Like, he's done real well to pick that up and still get a half a flick off, and half a flick is good enough from Nitish.
Well, that time it's a fair bit more than half. He keeps it low, rips it, and there we see the bright green mask, yellow headband, and the yellow shooting sleeve as well from Nitish.
Literally just place that through into the gap, easy as that. Yeah, North Harbour got to be careful here. I think penalty corners against is not what they're wanting, so they're going to have to clean up a bit of their defence if they're to stay in this game, because Nitish has been on form this tournament, I think, so you don't want to give him too many chances. Yeah, we're sitting at top of the tournament leaderboard for goals coming into this morning already. Nitish, I think 3 corners and a stroke. He'd already scored heading in, so make that 5 now, his tally for the tournament through 2 or a little over 2 games. Pretty impressive. Oh, it's a great overhead ball. Mills picking it up there. And a little slider snapped on it at the top of the circle. Again, we'll probably mention his name a fair bit here. Nitish just being able to distribute out of the back with relative ease when he has that overhead option. Yeah, and that's what you like to see, not overheads that are just thrown for the sake of throwing overheads, but overheads into attacking opportunities, and he's found that one really well. And we mentioned Millen in the build-up, that goal against CD in the 58th minute yesterday, getting them over the line. Certainly would have made things interesting if they hadn't scored it at 2 apiece at that point, but one of the premier players, going up and down the country at the moment. Mills, like I said, played some PHL.
He's really growing into an incredibly gifted hockey player.
Yeah, he got called up to the junior Black Sticks over in Johor, was it, I think?
Yep.
And he had a pretty good campaign, so, you know, yeah, he's definitely one to watch for the future.
As we see one that's been there, done that. Jared Panchia working his way across the field, linking up. And I like the overlap run here. I also like the composure too. Ishan Patel, probably one we're not a noted cool and calm sort of character. He's usually 100 miles an hour up the front there, but yeah, perhaps a bit of maturity, a bit more collected in the middle this time. Ish, and now Nidish dumps off a little little drop off pass. Here's Ish again.
Yeah, again just showing some composure.
Yeah.
Yeah, another great overhead.
Oh, probably unlucky there, Pookie, but
we're not the umpires, but we won't comment on those ones.
And Husband just goes long handle back across the field, beats them all over the sideline.
We'll say sometimes those ones are tough, you know. The overhead call is always a tricky one to call for umpires. But it's one of those ones where, like, if it's a half an attacking chance and it's not dangerous, do you just let that go, you know?
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's for those that, you know, do watch a bit more of the top level hockey. A lot of that stuff is allowed to play, and I get the skill set is, you know, a fair bit sharper as well, because the danger doesn't often come into it there. But man, you can see some real opportunities created from a good attacking overhead pass. Turnover there will fall the way of Harbour. And it's men's midday men's at the moment. Men's A section out here. 2 games back to back on both fields. So if you're in and around the area, this is the time to see all the men's A action. Get on down to the Gallagher Hockey Centre here at Waikato Hockey. You got back to back on both turfs as we see Harbour searching for a way through. A little untidy there on the entry. And Pookie come away with it.
Yeah, it's a bit to and fro at the moment, I think. Back and forth, change of position. Like to see, you know, someone take a bit of control on this game.
Yeah, it almost looks like, to me, as we see here, Mills showing off that skill set there, it almost looks to me, and we're going to go back for an earlier card, everybody a little confused about who, when, what, where, how, and why. Still unsure of who's actually going, and for when and for what.
I know, we've figured it out now.
Yeah. It almost seems like Harbour at the moment just trying to, you know, almost play a little frantic to try and find an equaliser as we see the overhead into the circle. Yeah, almost Harbour just trying to put the pressure back on, find the equaliser and then look to settle after conceding one early. But they could get caught out from it, you know, that back and forth play. They could get stung here by Pookie, who do have the ability to go end to end pretty easily. Yeah,
especially with the aerial threat from Nedish at the moment. He's picking them off really well.
Yeah, as you see, touch in, love it. And those are the opportunities that could fall the way of Pookie. And it's nicely placed as well, though, but taken down that time. Nathan Soma. Oh, drop-off pass is gorgeous. It's, probably deserved a little something there. There was a body check on the way through.
Yeah, love that quick, just knock back on the reverse, just take it through to the overlapping player.
Yep. Yeah, Divin Parsot, who's captaining the side today. Yeah, you say that little just drop-off pass on the reverse. I thought, like I said, I thought Ishan got tagged on his way through in pursuit of it, but nothing coming. Now Harbour look long down the sideline. Mistrap over the back line. Team's an opportunity just to take a breath here. Yeah, one thing is, as beautiful as sunny day it is, there's still a bit of wind out there. Her two favouring North Harbour at the moment, which perhaps surprising when you see the ability of ease. Nedish is still getting on the aerial ball. He's going into the wind.
Yeah, definitely. I think his gym program might be paying off as we just see another great reverse pass.
Yeah, Mills is class. He's all class. And now here go Puki. In it goes. And out again. Little untidy there. Yeah, Rushil Patel just couldn't bring it in. A nice pass in from Devon.
Yeah, Pukekohe now applying some pretty good pressure now, resulting in Harbour just wanting to get rid of the ball rather than build it up. So they might have to absorb a little bit here if they're not careful.
And here now another opportunity. They'll take the foot just outside the circle. Probably a good outcome for Harbour there. There was players flooding forward. A little stick challenge here from Nishan. Now he's got his hands up in the air, showing off some of the moves he's been practicing for later tonight. Oh, Devon Passot gets it on the reverse and buries it. And that's the work you put in as a striker to high press. You know, so many times you see that millimetres away from getting it and it just goes past the stick. And you employ your strikers, keep getting up there, and that's what you get. That finish is quality.
Top notch there. Just add a bit of composure, you know, just to take that extra step past the goalkeeper, but well finished.
Well, and I tell you what, the number of times where when you're running away from it like that, you just get under it, it skies over the goal. For him to keep that on the deck, bury it, and extend the lead. This is Puki looking hot at the moment. Puki, they're pumped up. They're 2 from 2, and they're getting that one-touch passing going. That really breaks teams apart. As Kenan Becker, well, he's going to have his hands full today.
Yeah, super dangerous with that one-touch passing. See Kenan Beaker there doing everything possible. All North Harbour here.
And everything impossible, I think, sometimes there as well. He's probably going to start his walk towards the seat. I can almost put money on that umpire's already got his hand in his pocket. Kenan might want to hope the play stays live for a while. No, there it is.
Called it.
Yeah, we can't see it on screen. We need to go a little more to the left to find. There we go. Well, he's just got a warning.
I think he's got away with that one.
It might have been the harshest warning as well. He started swinging before the game started. That thing and got no ball whatsoever. Kenan's pretty lucky there, I think, to stay on the turf.
Yeah, great tackle there by Brett there. Left hand low. Now they break away here.
There is Brett. Pretty fortunate to have Jude, his dad, in the commentary call with us yesterday. Of course, up in Northland, I believe, this morning for some King's Birthday Weekend representative under-18 games up there, Auckland, Harbour and Northland.
Yeah, definitely busy man, Jude, with his new role, but it was also great to have him take over the NZ Indian men's side this year at Heritage. Yeah, super cool to get, you know, someone of such great experience and in that coaching capacity for NZ Indians, and, you know, it's something we look forward to.
Yeah, and the cool thing, I think, for 1 for 1 for Jude. One weekend at the Reigns and 1 cup to go home. So great effort there, and all the work that he, yourself, and everybody's doing through the NZI program. So you see now, Husmit just trying to find his way through. There's not a lot of options for them at the moment, Harbour. They're doing it pretty tough here.
Yeah, Puke's really just cleaned up their defensive organisation there. You know, there's not really a lot through, so every time Harbour are getting in, it's literally 2v4 or, you know, 3v4. Makes it become very difficult to attack.
Yeah, absolutely. They look, bar the one commentator's curse there, they look, like I said, pretty sharp and pretty up for it this weekend. As we hear the hooter go, and we know Puke, they'll be trying to get their hands back on the Dian Chand after they won it in Wellington. Lost hold of it up in Harbour last year as Wellington came up and took one. But now with the, well, certainly the tough Pool A that's happening over on Turf 2, which has just started, Puki perhaps spy an opportunity to win it back here in Waikato this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting how they play the next few quarters as we come on to the replays here.
Yeah, this was the... this,
no ding.
Yep. Yeah, this flick here just carved off the left post there. And then that one, well, that's not carved off anything. That's carved off some parts of the backboard. Low, hard, probably expect your goalie to get out to it, but it's coming that quick. And then, wow, the captain. Look at this.
Yeah, great steal, great reverse finish there.
And I was going to say, I'd love to see it from this angle because I don't think there was a lot of gap. He's gone narrow, real narrow at it. Between the defender that had got back there to try and fill the goal. He's picked it well there, Divin Passot, and there the obvious advantages don't just stop at the scoreboard. Shots on goal, PCs and circle entries all favouring the Puki boys. And North Harbour, oh, they've had to weather the storm, and unfortunately I don't think Puki are done. They're wanting to roll into tomorrow's, well, likely a grand final with as much confidence, as much momentum as possible.
Yeah, you know, yesterday they against CD they were up 2-0 as well, and I think it went back to 2-2. So
yep,
I think they're still going to play here. I mean, there's two ways to take it. You know, do you go, yep, we're one step further into the final, so do we need to rest legs? All those things start coming into play.
Yeah, it's the old age-old sports debate, the rest versus rust. I don't think rust's such the situation, but you certainly don't want a repeat of yesterday where they're up 2-0 and find themselves 2-2 with, 8 minutes left on the clock. So yeah, I think they'd like to probably, if they can, push the boat a little bit further. And then if there's any conservation that needs doing it from there. And Harbour, well, they need to score next. And ideally, early in this quarter, where possible, just to try and steady their ship a little bit. It can be daunting taking on a heavyweight and them having all of the opportunities. So if they can steady one here, Harbour, could go a long way to help.
Yeah, definitely. And, watching yesterday, or if they saw yesterday's goal, score, they might be thinking, hey, this could be our chance. Second quarter, get on the scorecard. And very quickly, it's an open game.
Yeah. And as we know in this this tournament, the one goal lead is nothing really. Realistically, you probably need at least 3 to feel any sort of safety. We've seen goals happen so quickly. I think Bay Plenty scored 4 in the first 20 minutes in a game against Christchurch yesterday evening. And these teams, no shortage in that one. This is where you didn't want to see, the stuff you didn't want to see for North Harbour. We just saw it on the replays, and the high fives are going to go around the edge of the circle. Lovely little turn. A little bit unfortunate perhaps there. And he doesn't even really need to be involved in the circle chat of discussion, Nita. She's just going to walk up and pick the bracket. I'll tell you what, in terms of colour coordination, that's pretty impressive. He's got I've talked about the yellow sleeve and the yellow headband. He's also got a green glove to go along with the green mask, all in matching colours, and the yellow shoes. So we'll see it here. It is Tanitish. And he's going to freestyle a little bit. Brett, Messi, back to Tanitish. Oof. He just opted to wind up at one. I think he thought, well, it's second shot, so I can actually put this in the roof. Instead,
it's one of his strengths, but fair play, just have a crack.
Yeah. Was that a little open hand reverse?
Wasn't sure if it was an upright or a normal.
No, that one flies across relatively unattended. They'll get the long corner for the deflection, but a little miscue that time on the penalty corner. Not clean on the pickup as we see some of the Harbour crew. And yeah, bit of news out of Turf 2 there. About 5 minutes into the first quarter. Looks like Wellington have scored the first goal. They're up 1-0 over on Turf 2, so big one in the context of that. I think Bop's sitting on top of that leaderboard at the moment with 6 points. Wellington, they've got 5. So huge one over there. Meanwhile, there's a bit of action in front of the Harbour goal.
Yeah, great shot on target and equal to the save.
How's that? A little bit of work on the sideline. I thought that ball was almost an hour lapse, and they've kept it in there. And now Suka looking at his options. Probably the aerial route. There it is. It's that penetrating ball. They keep in. Ishan Patel. And beats another one. We've seen this goal before from Ish. Cooking along the baseline. What a receive down in the far corner.
Yeah, what a great receive there. That's 2 in a row now we've seen here.
Yeah, yep, right in front of us too on this right sideline. And here comes Pup. And as that one finds its way to the sideline, I talked about goals in quick succession. Wellington have scored another one on Turf 2. They're up 2-0 here, 5 minutes into the first quarter. Huge for the defending champs, who stumbled their way through the first day with a shootout loss to Christchurch and then a final minute go-ahead against Auckland. So some news out over Turf 2. Anyway, back here and an opportunity for Harbour. Cut out well. And going forward now. Panchia searching for a pass. He's back to the left.
Nice little dump pass there.
Just try and get some extra numbers forward. And they'll take it quickly here. Tell you what, I've been so impressed by Ishan already in this game. That's him delivering that one on a dot there on the reverse. And almost linking up with the skipper, Divin Passot, who was in the spot. Just don't think he expected it to come as flat and as fast as it did.
No, exactly. Yeah, he's showing some really great maturity here in Ishan. Took the quick free hit. Nice ball along the ground, all you asked for.
Yeah, and it's probably one that lucky for North Harbour that he did get his way in, because there was another little dangling stick in there from a player that definitely wasn't 5 yards on that quick free hit too, that they could have been hung with. But fortunately nothing there. And Nidish, he'll take the sideline hit. Right, it's no surprise that he looks over, because with the mask on he can't actually look down. So he's only got one field of view, and it's about 60 metres in front of him. As he's wearing, like I said, the protective mask this week. Passot can't get it through. And a little bit of table tennis there in the middle of the field.
Yeah, a bit of a juggling act.
And as has everything so far today, it's gone Pookie's way. Now Shahil Lala trying to take on Brett Menezes, just loses the handle. And that's pretty smooth work from Brett there, just allowing the ball to go over the sideline and then taking it, eliminating Shahil.
Oh, that's a great ball.
Mills, it's a rough angle, it's a cross, it's going to fall on the fly.
Goal.
Who is it? It's our man Ishan. For the second time in his life, he's hit a reverse on the ground in quick succession. Ish, that's fantastic. Again, that's one going away from the goal that Pookie have pulled off. This is not an easy finish here. Mills misses the first pass. And that, on the fly, on the deck, buries it. Ishan Patel, what a finish, what a strike for Pookie. And I joke about some of the stuff there, but Ish just showing some class.
Yeah, how good.
Today.
It all started with that great vision from Brett Menezes on that right-hand side to send that through ball.
Yeah.
Mills picked it up, and yeah, great finish from Ish because that ball was still travelling towards him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pukekohe really stepping up a notch at the moment, I think. Harbour have got to find some answers here because it's not looking good at the moment.
No, they're just a little off the pace at the moment. And look, that's full credit to Puki, who are just flexing some real skill sets out here at the moment. This is one of those games where I don't know if it might have mattered too much about who was on the other side. Puki are just in one of those moods at the moment.
Another great pick.
Yeah, here they go again. Jared Panchia in open spaces.
Oh, great skills there.
Oh, I'm going to call it an error there from Pup. I think he's sprayed that a little bit on the near side. Would have loved to see that tuck under the defender or to that open side of the goal. Fairly critical of a player who's done that on the world stage.
Well, exactly, yeah. But I'm sure he'll be disappointed.
He'll be the same. He'll know that he didn't get it right either, as Harbour win one right down by the T-bar. And under a bit of pressure, yeah, they're going to have to freestyle this one.
Get a long corner out of it.
Yeah. We're closing in on the final 5 minutes of this first half. 3-0, the advantage to Puki. Oh, and Harvey, sheesh.
Is there a touch in the circle there?
I think there was some sort of touch. I'm not sure if it was quite in or out, and Barvey called to make a save.
Those are always the tricky ones for keepers.
Yeah.
Do they touch it inside? But credit to Barvey, he's just gone, yeah, better save it anyway.
Yeah. It's not one you want to leave in case it does go. See a little bit of conversation there between the two Puki boys ready to come on. Those we talked about in the build-up to that last goal, Brett and Ish. And they come out this time, Harbour. And they look the aerial entry to the circle, and nobody really there for it. It was a bit more of a speculator than anything.
Yeah, I think the difference in just the defensive organisation, right? So Puki know the threat of Nisha at the back who can throw overheads, and they're just on their players. So in that situation, it's always going to go against you on the overhead. So credit to them. And like I said, you know, Harbour have to find some answers here if they want to get on the scoreboard or find a way through.
Yeah, it is pretty dominant display. Ish again, pretty dominant display from Puki. And now a bit of breakout here from Keenan Becker trying to take on Milan Patel. That's going to fall for them here. And the ball in. Oh. I mean, it did fall away from him on the back post there, but you might want to see that as we see there Jimmy Coughlin on looking, the coach of this Puki team.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy with his side's performance in these first two quarters here.
Yeah. And that one, like they were reading from different books there, those two. Just miscue. Regulation passes. Nedish. Oh. Trying to link up again with Ish. All it takes is one half trap or mistrap there, and they're all on. One thing of real note when you look at the way that Nedish flicks his ball, especially when he's going those longer varieties, is just the more direct ball flight on them. So it's not as high. You know, a lot of these guys that just flick the big bombs, real high, allow players time to get under them and things to happen there. Those direct ones become so much harder to trap if you can't take them on the full, because they skip through and they skid on, and really hard to manage.
Yeah, definitely, especially the bounce of the turf. Once they land, that ball can go pretty quickly off the turf.
Oh, and the long handle works here. He turns away from his initial support play. Brings the second face on. Oh, that's brilliant hockey there from Menez, linking back up across the top. And again, we've seen a few times here, Harbour just keen to kick the ball to touch, get it out of there, take a breath. But unfortunately, it means that Puki come forward again. This time, Mills.
Oh, it's a great tackle. Whoa.
Trying to work some magic up there. And sideline hit. You go again. Oh, just got that one a little bit wrong. Two. Midfield and striker up there on that right side of the field.
So we can see the circle entries up there, you know, very much a one-sided game at the moment.
Yeah, it's, for those that tuned into the last game, very reminiscent of the last game, Harbour v Wellington. The only difference here, Puki actually putting the goals away. You know, Harbour women, probably in the same amount of dominance in their game, but scoreless through this period. So Puki, they'll be pleased. Harbour, they're on a run here. Love that quick bit of skill going forward for Harbour.
These time delays just help Puki get their defence back, right? And this is where Harbour are missing out on some real good opportunities to make something happen.
Yeah, it's one of those strange scenarios. Usually when you're coaching or playing a team, you go, okay, if we can get one free hit and take it quickly, we'll probably be able to get ourselves an entry. Unfortunately, the way Puki have been playing, you probably need 2 free hits in succession that you can take quickly. Because they're getting so many numbers around the ball, and they're pretty well organised as well.
As we count down to the end of the first half here.
Yeah. Puki will be happy just, they're going to get a card there for the Harbour player in the dying seconds of it. There goes the hooter, and there goes the teams off the pitch. 3-0 by way of Pukekohe over North Harbour here, men's A section at half time, and keeping you up to date. Start of the second quarter on Turf 2. Wellington are up 2-0 over Bop. So we'll try and get a listen in here to the team talks. Not sure if we've got a mic over that side of the field. We'll have to try and get one a little bit later, but you can see Timon Iverson there with the North Harbour guys drawing some pictures. They're all pretty attentive, so hopefully he's got some magic in that whiteboard, and they're going to need to find a way through Puki. And there you see James Coughlin doing the same stuff there with the Puki boys. Relatively untested in goal, Bhavishbani. He's had a couple little late goes at things, and we'll see some highlights here. There's been a couple of those moments. This one very nearly.
Yeah, it's a great pick up on the drag flick there by Needish. And there it is.
Yeah. Low, hard. And again, pretty tough work there for the goalie when it's coming this far. But Divin Passot, look at this. On the back foot, going away from the goal after he's done the work to get the intercept on the split press. And thanks for coming. Like I said, not a lot of angle there.
No, he's done really well.
And then another penalty corner coming. This time it was Messi at the top. They freestyled. They got a first pass, and then Needish, he did manage to get his hands somewhat together. This is more where we see his exploits. Have a look at this. Oh, a little under the legs and the bounce as well. Ish works. And couldn't quite get anything on that one, but it didn't take much after that where we saw another bit of Ishan magic on the run. Buries it there off the left foot. Impressive stuff from young Ish. See it from this angle.
Yeah, great finish again by Ish. She's having a bit of a cracking game in this game today.
Yeah, as we saw there, that was the touch there. It's quite a big touch through from Harbour, so did have to make the save, Barvish. And there we see the tail of the tape. It's resounding dominance for Puki. 10 shots on goal, 11 circle entries versus the 2 circle entries for that 1 shot on goal we just saw there for North Harbour. So deserved, I think, the lead at the moment, 3-0. And a lot of discussion in that North Harbour huddle at the moment. Hitu, what do you think they're talking about? What do you want to see from this Harbour team if they're to find their way through to a goal and maybe make a match of this one.
Yeah, look, I think they're going to have to find some numbers going forward. I think they're struggling at the moment to just connect through that midfield and get numbers to attack this Puke defence. At the same time, like they have found, if they just try some of these crash balls and get that specular touch, it might just pay dividends. But they're going to have to score first. I think it's pretty clear, and it's good to see them discussing, like they're not down and out. I think they're preparing how do we score 3 and tie the game up, which is cool to see, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, their opportunities are going to become from speculative play. It is going to be opportunistic that they're going to have to just jump onto, and it's going to take a little bit more legwork and getting those numbers forward, give them some targets in the circle, but perhaps throw one in early after a quick free hit. Perhaps get one skipping off the ground that you might be able to get a raw touch off or something to trouble the defensive group of Puke. But I agree, they're up for it, and it's certainly not a dejected halftime huddle. And this is part of the growth back to 8 teams, right, in the men's A section. For a long time, it has just been Puke, Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch when they're there. So there is going to be these times of these, I guess, traditional smaller ISCs having to do the hard yards to get back to this level. And look, it's only going to be good for the future and continuation of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's early days still for some of these associations back in the A grade, and I only expect it to grow even further. And yeah, I mean, the games are still competitive, right? And that's what you want to see. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how this next quarter starts, or next half starts.
And you said it, got to be first to score here, Harbour. I think if Puke can get another one in this quarter, I think they'll probably back themselves all the way through here. And have a look at that. They just send the 4 horsemen flying up there. Nidish will find someone.
Almost 5. I think 3 strikers and 2 mids. See you later. They all went sprinting into that zone.
Yeah. I mean, you don't wish this on anybody, but you imagine if Nidish had just underdone one there and all of a sudden it's 8v4 going the other way.
It would have been a great spectacle for us, but not sure for Pukekohe.
No, we've already seen one bit of fireworks from a Pukekohe team, and it's not the men. Shout out Seedle and the stick swinging acrobatics of yesterday.
Yep, that'll be one to remember for this 2025 New Zealand Indians tournament, for sure.
There's Harbour now just trying to compose themselves. Oh, that's not it. Ish read that like a book. And drops it off to Joe Panchia. Back to Ish.
Oh.
That's the Ish we know. Get your hands around it and rip it, young fella. Just got that one a little bit wrong there. I think the receive, a little bit of 3D on it and got under it there. Dug it out from under his feet, but again, love the intent.
Yeah, I think it's been real noticeable this tournament, just the intent to just get shots off, and I've been quite impressed with that. You know, you try to coach it every time, and we've seen a few now.
Well, it's one of those, you know, for those that have been familiar over the last few years, Kelly and Jerem, somebody who is the master of that, especially at this tournament in these colours. You know, he's as soon as it's crossed the line, it's already going on target. So perhaps some of those sorts of skills being implemented here across some of the other strikers for Puke.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure he's watching his fellow teammates out here in battle over in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely, if he's not on the golf course, as we see another bit of work here from Ish.
Oh.
How good. And Shaq does enough in goal, gets out and thwarts that. But I tell you what, for a team full of names, you know, we went through them here for Puke. Ishan's really standing up and really putting his...
And he's on it again.
Yep. Yeah, I think he just ran out of gas on that one more so than anything. But yeah, Ish been outstanding there. He's putting his hand up.
He needs a sub. He needs a sub. He's done a bit too much work in this last 2 minutes as he goes and makes a sub now. Yeah, no, yeah, really impressed with Ishan in this game. He's really stood up. Like you said, you know, we've named names, but great to see such a young talent, you know, showcasing what he can do as well.
Yeah, and a guy, you know, that's had experience with NZI, been in and around the selections for a couple of years. Good to see the continued growth. Oh, and just got the word there too. Perhaps such is the maturity. Ish just turned 21 on Friday.
How good.
So, you know, maybe the maturity coming in with the birthday candles. So happy birthday, young fella, 21 on Friday, and perhaps a way to celebrate this weekend with a performance like that, and hopefully a chance to go at it tomorrow for the Diane Chand. Happy birthday, Ish. And of course, we mentioned yesterday is Neetish's birthday as well. Yesterday, Neats. A few birthdays around. There might be a bit of dancing going on at the social tonight. I tell you what.
Could be. I think if S-Man is heading out there, there'll definitely be some dancing going on, and we'll see who can match S's dance moves.
There's a cutout again. This press has been good from Puki. Just get players back in the passing lane, especially up the middle of the field. There's the captain, Divin Parsot, searching. There's the ball across. Oh, it's going to fall here for Menezes. Turns on it.
Oh,
great shot, great save.
Yeah, North Harbour just got to find some connections somehow. I think, you know, there's just that last pass that just goes astray. They're not quite connecting, you know, 2-3 passes. It's just one or two, and then it's very hard to flow on from there. So,
yeah, and I think the biggest accolade for Puki is they're stopping their any ability to transfer the ball. So even when they do get those 2 or 3 passes, they're often up the same channel and a lot easier to defend. So that middle striker, and we saw Ish pick up 2 of them in a row just in this quarter, and then Divin pick up that most recent one. They're really making a point of cutting the middle of the field, which makes it even more difficult for Harbour because your only options is to keep burrowing up where the defenders are. So, yeah, full credit to Puki. And
there goes the aerial again.
They come forward here. It's through to nobody really there.
Go. Yeah, we're just seeing it there. Just half a step in front, Puki today.
Yeah.
Intercepting a lot of ball, and you just spoke about it. You know, even in the press just now. Another one. 2 steps in front, should we say? As now Pup goes on the attack here.
Still going. Oh, it wins it back again.
Still going.
I mean, I've spoken about it a few times before and on different broadcasts and that, but Jared Panchia probably still one of the most impressive solo goals I've ever seen on a hockey field at under 21s. A number of years ago now, probably 10 years ago, up in Whangarei. He was playing for Auckland in a semi-final up there. Just unbelievable skill. Jared Panchia, and again, for those unfamiliar, spent a long time in the New Zealand Black Sticks men's program. He and his brother Aaron, of course, who captained the team for a little while. So good to have Jared out here. Was Puki again. He played last year. And now here
comes Ishan again back on the field.
And Harbour really doing it tough, trying to get through. You see Pup there just sitting right in front of that free hit. And as the whistle on our turf went, there's also a pretty big whistle on the far turf. And it was Wellington scoring their third. But hello,
here's a chance.
Opportunity. If they can link up. Open goal. Oh, stop it. Jared Panchia had just been weaving his magic around the circle. This time he's in the middle of it.
He won the press, then he didn't. Then he just sat in the middle of the circle, and just such good composure to do that roll and score here, as we said on the replay here.
Look at that.
Wins it, then just waits. 1v1. Thank you very much.
In the corner it goes. And just as quickly as Wellington went up 3-0 over there, Bop get one back off the hit off. 3-1 now in favour of Wellington over Bay of Plenty. And we're 4-0 out here, Pukekohe v Harbour. So she's all action on both turfs. We already mentioned some of the implications of that game over on Turf 2. We'll try and keep you up to date while we watch this one as Harbour come rolling through. Cut out there by Pukekohe, pretty smooth in the end. And Ish, I think he's run out of gas here. He's done so much work in this third quarter.
Yep, might have to have another tactical sub here.
Yeah.
Nah, two very exciting games we've got on here in Hamilton.
Yeah. We're trying our best to keep an eye on both. Watching the monitor and the main game here, and then peeking past to the far turf every time we see some action. So, like I said, we'll try and keep you up to date. But the best thing to do is get down here. Get down and see it all live. We finish with finals day tomorrow, which will culminate with the men's A section final. The highlight of the finals day. And we'll wrap up the other two sections as well with their final pool games. Likely with a Bay of Plenty versus North Harbour women's game, which I'm sure will usually touted as the projected final. As we heard from S-Man this morning, it's kind of how they run the draw. Last year's final, they try and match them up on the last day.
Yeah, definitely. And when you've only got a round robin to play for, if you can get, you know, a virtual final on the last day for anything, it makes for some good viewing.
But one that will be a dead set final will be the men's A section. There'll be winners of each pool, so top in Pool A versus top in Pool B into tomorrow's final. And it's half-time over on Turf 2. Wellington up 3-1 over Bay of Plenty. And out here, 5 minutes to go in the third. Pukekohe with a pretty strong hold on this one, 4-0, and they come forward again. Love this play from Pukekohe. And enough in defence there from North Harbour.
Just such great work rate from this Pukekohe side. You know, they pass forward, but they're getting numbers up.
Yep.
And it's just that absolute grit to just get numbers ahead of the game.
Needish looking now. And just a little bit of miscommunication there. I think he was trying to link back up with Janabana out here on the left, who just covered back under in defence. Mills can't believe it there. He thought he'd won 2 free hits, let alone it going against him. But
he won 0.
Yeah. And down the line, cut out. A little slip there from distribution. And now, again, look at the swarming pressure up the middle of the field on Harbour.
He's done well to get out of that one.
And just nobody there for Harbour.
Seems to be their tactic to look long. You know, I'd love to see them string a few more passes through that midfield with Keenan in the middle there.
Yep.
Because at the moment the long play isn't quite paying off, and I think Pukekohe have discussed it because defensively, can't see it on screen, but they're stepping in front, winning that front space every time.
Yeah, and I think they're also rushed into that long ball. Like I say, even with the way the centre press is working, even if they can transfer the ball like they did there, Harbour, they're under so much pressure to get rid of it.
Oh, great tackle.
How's that there? Kashari with a spot tackle. And I don't think Pukekohe are going to rush down to the corner to get that one at any rate of knots. Barvish will be called on. A jog to the corner.
Oh, passes it back over the sideline.
And they get it going in front of an open goal. You always question that as a goalkeeper when you're forced to run out to the corner and then your defender takes it quickly and you're still out at the T-bar. Rushing to get in, you turn the ball over. Here come Harbour.
Ooh. Not a bad chance there for them.
Big opportunity there if they'd been able to get the second touch. And this is the fear, though, because Puke can go the other way quickly. Well, there you go. We get the word that's only their second shot at it. Of course, we saw the deflection in that second quarter that Barvish saved.
Penalty corner.
Yeah, claps in there from the Puke dugout. I actually thought Huss was maybe hard done by on his first attempt. I think it was the second where he got tangled up.
The masked man is not on, though.
That first bit is good there, and I think it's that reach around across the body. Unfortunate for Harbour, you're right. What do they call it? The masked singer.
Masked singer is not on the field.
Which means we might see the solo efforts from Pup. He's up at the first bracket, and, well, man of the match candidate Ishan is on the second bracket. Nobody here on the left. And a sole right runner.
Oh, the long handle.
Long handle, bringing out the, I think his brother was a pretty expert at that. Aaron used to love a long handle off the penalty corners.
Yeah, Aaron Pancher, very good at that long handle. Scored many a goal from what I've seen.
Yeah, and wasn't too far off being good there. Obviously, those, perhaps if you're wondering why that wasn't a goal, first shot from the penalty corner, if it's a hit or sweep or slap or anything in that direction, has to hit the backboard first. Well, first shot crossed the line at the backboard, so that one just a touch high, but wasn't far off. We don't see the long handle too often in the men's game anymore. A lot of drag flicks or slide variations, so I love to see a long handle.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great variation. I think we've talked about it in previous years, you know, just mix it up a little.
And it takes me back to one of my all-time favourite Black Sticks goals, Simon Child, picking up a German to upright hit off a penalty corner, which, I mean, I don't know how you go about defending that. Fake the flick into a German stop, and Simon Child's just come ripping in from L1.
And that takes us through to the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. This one, I dare say we needed Harbour to score and score first and early in that quarter. I'd say Puke now, without taking their foot off the throat, will be pretty confident in getting through to the end of this one and therefore into tomorrow's final. And potentially they may have one eye also looking over the back fence as well to find out who they're going to be playing. And at the moment, Wellington up 3-1 as we check out some of the highlights. Ish here with the midfield turnover.
He got off to a fly, didn't he?
Yeah, he had, I think, 2 in a row here. And here's the next, no, this is the goal that they scored. Pup getting the first bit, and then...
So casual.
And it goes. And we'll see it from the top angle. Good not to give up on it. Still in a good area to provide a goal-scoring opportunity. Ish was up there as well. No surprises. And then this was the later penalty corner given away there on the edge of the circle.
That man again, Ishan Patel.
And long handle, like I said, not far off there. And the teams will come back for the resumption of this one there. The stats resounding in favour of Puke. Double digits on the entries and shots, which is pretty good hit rate there for entries v shots. And with Timon Iverson, I think he's steering down the barrel of it's planned for tomorrow. Fellas, let's finish this one well and take us some positives into tomorrow's game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And we spoke about it yesterday where, what do you do when you're in this sort of position and Ishan just off to a fly again. Yep. He's starting the way he finished.
Again, reminiscent of the Jared Panchia goal I remember from that 21 tournament. He took it from the head off and went the whole way. As we see now, Puke work towards that right baseline.
Yeah, so Harbour just want to finish, strong and take that momentum through to the next game.
Yeah.
Take the small wins as they get a bit of a breakaway here.
Yeah, Keenan Becker in a bit of space. And it looks like, we're going to have our first card for Puke. Nohan Hensman will go and sit down. So that's one apiece on the cards, I think, now for the two teams. And Harbour just doing themselves no favours there. Unfortunate mistrap over the sideline.
Yeah, a bit of a telling story for North Harbour today.
Yeah, they've been up against it. Like I said, right from the start, Puke have looked sharp. They look like they're up for all of it. They look like they want to get that Dian Chan back again in 2025. And at the moment, they're playing like it too. So, not an easy battle for any team, I think. And
a bit of confusion, but
yeah.
he...
I think the North Harbour player looked at the ref like, can I take it? He didn't say anything, so he took it, and then he blew him back for taking it. A little uncertainty there, whether Mills had actually moved it or not. And Harbour will get one here just up towards halfway.
Yeah, still no way forward through that Pukekohe solid defence here.
Yep.
Of Harbour going forward, but opting to go back out. There's just no gaps at the moment in this Puke defence.
Yeah, as exciting as the goals are and the drag flicks and the overheads and stuff, the defence has been the catalyst of their performance. As you see again, cleaned up at the back there. As we see over the back fence there, the CD boys getting ready to take the field here. Finally, they make it to the live stream turf, Central Districts, and it's a TNG Shield game against Waikato. So not only the CD boys, but the locals Waikato and the TNG Shield up for grabs as well. For those of you unaware, the TNG Shield primarily was for the B teams, but as the expansion has happened now for the minor clubs, so contested at tournament in those minor club fixtures, now up in the A section. So
another great steal from Ishan Patel in the midfield just then.
He's doing it all, man.
Oh, shoot the boy. And he gets a shot off.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, Ish. Again, that's probably 3 steals in about 15 minutes here that he's just picked and run. But again, as I was just saying, Hitu, it's off the back of the defensive work. Defensive work first, gets in the passing lane, gets the tackle, and then goes forward. So, so good to see a young striker get back and do the defensive work first.
Yeah, exactly. And, we're always so focused on the attacking aspect, but the defence today, I think, for Pukekohe has really stepped up a notch.
Yep. And into the corner, Puke will take a breath. And we see some of the Puke ladies over the back fence as well, watching on. They had the break this morning, so they'll play it this evening. Puke v Auckland, I believe, in the women's match up a little bit later.
Should be a good match.
Yeah. As we see another open run here, this time Divin Passot. Forehand drag. Can he get another one? Oh, no. He's done everything but the last bit.
You'd love to see that one go bottom corner.
Yeah.
Such a quick drag, quick hands.
Now under a little bit of pressure here at Mills. He's going to fight a few times, but ultimately falls there for Harbour, and that almost sums up the day for Harbour. They get into some arm wrestles, they maybe win a couple, and then they give it back a little bit too cheap.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably safe to say not been their day.
Can they salvage something here? They've got a bit of space down this right side. They've got the entry. Okay, yeah, a little word there. So the card there wasn't green, it was actually a yellow, so a little bit longer for Puke to hold on without a player. Fortunately, they've got the 4-goal buffer, so it's not complete alarm stations, but a little bit more running for the boys out there in green while they're down a player.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we spoke about North Harbour not being their day, but respect to Pukekohe, I think they've been a bit flawless today.
Yeah.
We don't want to give them the commentator's curse because we want them to finish the game pretty well, but everything's been going right for them defensively and on attack.
Yeah, and I said it, even in that first quarter, it just had that feel about it. For those NRL fans, sometimes you get Melbourne Storm and they're just on their day. And I don't care who lines up against them, but it's not going well. And it seems that way a little bit for Puke today as we get another touch across the goal. And it's Ishan Patel gets another.
But the skills of Jared Pancher there, how good.
And I'm sure as we see it on the replay, the one thing that you love from coaching staff there is both sides of the goal, had a Puke player on them ready. So we'll watch it here. Here it is. Either of them could have done it. That's fantastic by Pup. And the touch from Ish beats them over the back line, and they push to 5 here. Puke, dominant display. And with 8 and a bit here to play, North Harbour, they've just been outclassed today. And unfortunately, those games happen in this men's A section. There's teams that can put on performance. All teams can do it. That's the joy of the tournament. You never know who's going to have it on what day, but Puke just been absolutely first class today.
Yeah, right from the start, pretty relentless. And I said it before, defence, attack, everything's going right for them.
See a penalty corner on the back turf to Wellington. Harbour get this one going quickly. And opportunity just swept away there. The scramble defence from Puke, when they've needed it, have stood up. And the penalty corner on the back turf went unconverted, so no change to that scoreline. 3-1 over there to Wellington. And 5-0 here for Puke. Harbour, do they have something? There's a player there. He's a little tangled up in it.
Still there.
Oh, and they finally get one. I thought Mills had picked that off the line there, but
he's just helped it on its way into the goal.
Into the sideline, into the sideboard. And Harbour, that's what they wanted to see. This is the way to finish the game for Harbour. They just need to get that little bit going. It's a bit scrappy here, actually. I thought Puke had done enough.
That's a piece of skill
great
there.
Work. Yeah, a little 3D, and then falling away shot.
Jane Kika there, well done. And you saw straight after, let's go boys. I think they're not done yet. They'd like another goal before the game ends.
Jan's just gone and got him on all parts of the score sheet there. We sing his praises, and then he goes and earns himself a 2-minute sit down. And speaking of sit down, looks like Bay of Plenty might have scored a second over there against Wellington on turf 2. We'll wait for confirmation of it as we see Harbour roll their way forward. Again, can they score a second here quickly? I don't think they're going to get all 6 to win it, but man, if they can get 2, they'll be pretty pumped going into tomorrow's game. And they'll get the long corner here, Harbour. And the goal is confirmed on the back turf. Bay of Plenty strike back again. It's 3-2 now in favour of Wellington. Remember, a penalty shootout in favour of Wellington will make things all sorts of interesting with the Auckland-Canterbury game still to come. Any other result will probably finish any speculation over there, but a Wellington penalty shootout win will open up the potential for 3 teams to get to 7 points.
Yeah, don't we love it? How good. It's all open at the moment, besides Pukekohe, who...
Yep, they've got theirs sorted. And have they got another one here, Ish? Oh, good work from Shaquille there.
Great save by the goalie.
Yeah. One out with the boot, then reaches over and gets it with the stick as well. And it's all on here, both ends of the turf and the other turf. A penalty corner to Wellington. Meanwhile, we've got Harbour trying to find a way through for their second.
Oh, that's much better passing.
Love that from Harbour.
No penalty there, and Pukekohe now go on the attack.
Oh, space here for again. Ishan. Oh, tell you what.
How close was that?
Yep. I mean, I don't think Divin would have got there even if he had got on the deck, but it would have been spectacular if he'd got close. And Ishan again, just showing how dangerous he can be on any loose ball.
Build up again here from North Harbour. Oh,
just a slip, that one. No whistle needed. Just his feet going too quick for everything else there, Keenan. Oh. Ish links back up with Mills. Mills rolls it on here for Soma. It's Nathan Soma searching. And Nidish can't keep the handle there.
Looks like he's gone higher up the field.
Yeah. Is he worried about Ishan taking his goal scoring title? I have to try and get the stats on that with the men's. I know Nidish was there at the start of the game. Ashpreet, of course, from Christchurch. He's
got another steal. Ish. Oh no, he's run all over it. Might be calling for another sub, I think. Yeah. He looks pretty tired out there.
He looks, yeah.
Might need to reserve some energy for tomorrow, I think. Safe to say, Pukekohe through to the final.
That's it. As we're closing on 2.5 minutes left here, Puke will go forward into tomorrow's final, and we'll go through unbeaten as well here. And well, I'm pretty sure they'll be the only unbeaten team remaining in the men's A section, barring, well, we've still got Bop out there who could get through on a penalty shootout win. As Harbour will have to take the ball back again.
I know, they're off. I thought for a second they didn't know where to start the ball, but no, they're off.
Had a few goes at it out of the back corner, and Pookie just sat at half court and watched it.
Yeah, I think it's, less than 2 minutes ago. There he is, taking a break. I think he's done for the day.
What did...
no more goals on the chart for the Masked Singer.
Yeah, what did Future say? Mask off. That's him there. Mask off. Game done for Pookie. They got another one tomorrow. Pup's not done. He's always in for a little sniff around the midfield. And Harbour, can they find perhaps one more? Can they win the quarter? Harbour currently locked up at 1-1 this quarter. Looking forward here, come Harbour up that left baseline. Nice entry, lovely turn. Oh, here we go. I'll take the penalty corner for back of the stick.
Maybe one last throw of the dice here for North Harbour.
One go at it. I know there's about 50 seconds, but load them all up, burn the clock, have a crack. Nice save there from Barvi, diving away to his right, but the damage had been done in the middle of the circle. Yeah, there we go. It's taken 59 minutes and 20 seconds, but their first penalty corner here for North Harbour.
And like you said, can they win the quarter?
Yep, and I also said, like I say, get them all up there, burn the clock, go for it. Even if it comes out again, have enough troops up there to have another crack at them.
Yeah, why not? Which I think they've almost done.
Oh, goodness. It's a lolly scramble. Oh, they'll get another go at it here. A little foot in the middle of the circle. No enhancement. I thought they had opened up that second shot at goal. I thought it was good.
Now they're putting all of them up now. As the hooter goes, full time, but can they get one more on the scorecard?
Yeah, an update. It's the third quarter break over on Turf 2. So last break there, 3-2 Wellington over Bay of Plenty. They've got 15 minutes left in this one. And we've got about 15 seconds left here. Harbour, can they win the quarter, get their second, and finish on a high note? Just got it a little bit heavy there. Keenan Bicker is in the right place, but not the right touch, and the whistle is blowing here. Final score 5-1 in favour of Pukekohe. they'll go through to tomorrow's grand final to contest for the Diane Chand. Harbour, well, they'll have to figure out the maths in the remainder of their pool after CD take on Waikato up next. That's been our men's A section. For those that have joined us along at home, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next game coming up shortly.